Okay, good morning. So our subject for today is English 5, Quarter 2 for Week 1. And the objective is, at the end of the lesson, you are expected to compose clear and coherent sentences using aspects of verb. Now, what is verb? Verbs are action words. They are very important in learning a language. They are always present in sentences and in most expressions with the presence of both the subject and the predicate that contains the verb, a sentence expresses a complete thought or idea. As a vital feature of the English language, using appropriate verb is necessary in composing clear and coherent sentences. Now, what is verb? So, verb is composed of tense and aspect. A verb tense, or the time event, is indicated by the past, the present, and the future. Meanwhile, aspects refers to the state of action of a verb and indicate the duration or completion of an event. Now, what is tense? Tense in grammar, a verbal category relating the time of narrated events to the time of the speech event. So we have the past, the present, and the future. Now let us discuss present tense. Present tense signifies action, being, or state of being in present time. Example, Tita Joanna works hard to send her children in college. The underlined word is works, and that signifies action being done in the present time. Now let's move on to past tense. Past tense signifies action, being, or state of being that has been done in the past. Example, she worked as a waitress in a restaurant. And the underlined word added ed at the end of the word that signifies action that has been done in the past. And then we have the future tense. Future tense signifies action to be done or to happen in some future time. We use will, shall, plus the simple form of the verb. Example, she will work in a foreign country to support her children. The underlined word is will work. So it uses will plus the simple form of the verb, which is work. Notice what the highlighted words express. So these words are known as verbs. They express actions that takes place in different periods, such as present, the past, and the future tense of the verb. Now let's move on to verb aspects. Verb aspects is the expression expressed as the temporal structure of an action or state. It also expresses ongoing actions or states with or without distinct endpoints. Now there are four types of verb aspect. So we have the simple, the progressive, the perfect, and the perfect progressive. Now let us discuss first the simple aspect. The simple present tense is used to describe general truths and habitual actions. Example, the earth rotates around the sun. Another example, Delia walks to the school every day. Another one, the sun rises in the east. And the last example, they spend their vacation in Batanes every year. Remember, children, if the subject is singular, use the S form of the verb. It is the subject if the subject is plural and or pronouns I and you, use the base form of the verb. Okay, for letter B, we have the simple past tense. This is used to express an event or habitual action that was completed in the past. Examples, The children watched a documentary film. Another one, it rained almost every week last month. You notice that at the end of the word, at the end of the verb, there is ed at the end of the verb. Another one, the simple future tense. It is used to express an action or habitual action that takes place in the future time. Example, they will celebrate the United Nations Day in October. Another one, after December, Richard will take the train to work every day. So in simple future tense, remember to use will plus the base form of the verb. Now we have the progressive aspect. For letter A, we have the present progressive. So present progressive expresses ongoing actions. Example, the students are taking the test now. Another one, the teacher is preparing the lessons. In progressive aspect, remember to use be verb plus ing form of the verb, like what we have on the example. Are, that is the be verb, plus taking the test now. So taking is the base form of the word taking is take, and then we have the present progressive that is are taking, and another one is preparing. Now we have the past progressive. So the past progressive expresses an action in progress at some specific point of time in the past. Example, Timmy was walking to the office at 7 o'clock this morning. Another one, I was preparing for the church at 6 o'clock yesterday. Another is a past action simultaneous with another event. That is another one idea that we can identify whether that verb is progressive aspect. Example, they were preparing for the party when the visitors came. So remember to use be verb plus ing form of the verb. Next, we have the future progressive. Future progressive expresses an action that will be in progress at a specific time in the future. So for example, Tina will be graduating from elementary this year. Another one, the grade 5 pupils will be attending a mass tomorrow. So remember, in the progressive aspect or the future progressive aspect, use will plus be plus ing form of the verb. Next, we have the perfect aspect. The perfect aspect has also the present, the past, and the future. So present perfect expresses an action that began in the past and continues to the present time. Example, Sheila has been a Girl Scout since last year. Another idea for the present perfect, a very recently completed action. So open with just. Example, Berta has just baked cookies. I have called the plumber. So remember, children, if the subject is singular, use has plus the past participle of the verb. If the subject is plural and or pronouns I and you, use have plus the past participle of the verb. Then we have the future perfect. The future perfect expresses a future action that will be completed before a specific future time. So for this example, we have, I will have finished the school project before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. As you can see, we have to remember use will plus have plus the past participle of the verb. Okay, and then we have the perfect progressive aspect. That is the number 4. So it has also the present, the past, and the future. And the present perfect progressive expresses an action in progress that is not yet completed or a situation or habit that began in the past and that continues up to the present time. Example, Rowena has been reading that book. Another one, I have been accomplishing the task in this module. And the last example, the athletes have been practicing. Remember children, if the subject is singular, use has plus been plus ing form of the verb for singular. And if the subject is plural and or pronouns I and you, use have plus been plus ing form of the verb. So those are the simple the past perfect progressive. And we have also the future perfect progressive. So it expresses a habitual action that is taking place in the present time and will continue in a specific future time. Example, next month, the Bayanihan Dance Club will have been performing for 5 years. Another one, Helen will have been teaching for 10 years next week. So remember, if the if to identify the future perfect progressive, we have to use will plus have been plus ing form of the verb. Okay, now let us test yourself if you really understand our lesson for this morning. Fill in the blanks with the correct form of the verb as suggested in the present, as suggested in the tense of the verb inside the parentheses. Write your answers on a piece of paper. And here are the sentences. Number 1, my sister blank to the market to buy vegetables. And the suggested word or verb in the parentheses is go, and it must be in the past. And then number 2, she blank a special dish later. Then we have cook, future. And number 3, she blank cooking a lot. Enjoy, and then present. And then number 4, mother blank that her menudo is the best. So the verb is comment and then it is in the present time. Number 5, my cousin blank a plate of chop suey early this morning. And the verb is bring and it is in the past. So I will give you maybe 30 seconds to answer this the test. Okay, go. Okay, so let us see if you got it correct. So for number 1, we have what is the verb? The verb is go, and the answer must be in the past. So the answer is went. Okay, so that means my sister went to the market to buy vegetables. And number 2, okay, so cook and then future. So she will cook a special dish later. Okay, number 3, she enjoys cooking a lot. Enjoy, and then it must be in the present time. Okay. Number 4, comments. So mother comments that her menudo is the best. So it is in the present. And then for number 5, my cousin brought a plate of chop suey early this morning. So the past form of the verb bring is brought. Okay, so let's move on to another test. Read each sentence carefully. Write the correct form of the verb to be used in a sentence. Write your answers on a piece of paper. And here are the answers. What you're going to do is to underline your answer. So for number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. So I will give you also 30 seconds to answer this. Okay, so this time let us see if you answer it correctly. So for number 1, I am reading or reading my favorite novel now. So what is your answer? Okay, so the answer is I'm reading. So number 2, my parents are going to the farm today. So what do you think is the answer? Okay, are going because the subject is my parents, and parents is a plural, is in the plural form. Next, they will be picking apples later. Okay, so they will be picking apples later. So will be because it will be happen later. Okay, so the action will be done in the near future. Next, number 4. Yes, have been cut. Many trees have been cut by illegal loggers. Okay. And number 5, some illegal activities have proliferated for a long time. So what do you think is the answer? Okay, have proliferated. Why? Because our subject is activities. Okay, some illegal activities, and that is in the plural form, so we don't have to use has. So the answer is have proliferated. Okay, so children, did you get the same answer as mine? Okay, very good. So remember children, this is the structure or pattern for the present tense, past tense, and the future. And then we have also the simple, the progressive, the perfect, and the perfect progressive. So remember that in the present tense, base form or S or ES form of the verb. And then for the progressive, we have be verbs am, is, are plus ing form of the verb, and the perfect we have the has or have plus past participle form of the verb, and for the perfect progressive we have has or have plus have been plus past ing form of the verb, and so on. Okay, so this is the structure or the pattern so that you will not be um, confused in using the verb and the aspect of the verb. Okay, now it's your turn to answer the learning task in your module. Okay, so class dismiss. So I hope that you learned something from our lesson for this morning. So again, this is Teacher Malu saying thank you and good day.